This is a short primer to help understand the electrical wiring systems of the vintage Pavoni Europiccola machines. As you can see, we've got two fairly early models that are here to illuminate some of the confusion that can develop with electrical problems on these machines. This is one of the earliest models. This is branded the Kofer, which predates the La Pavoni. As you see, it has no on-off switch, only the plug, and Massimo Minimo switch on the side, the toggle. You look underneath, whoa, here we have all the same color wires. If these wires weren't here and you had to rewire this, massive confusion. Move on to the next very common early model. This is a 1977, as you see. It has this long rectangular switch, off in the center, low 1, high 2, Massimo Minimo the same, pilot light. If you look underneath here, there's the element. This has the original style wiring that, just like it came from the factory, as you can see, covered with this shroud is a black wire here. This is the hot wire. Their style of wiring this is the hot wire goes directly to the load. The circuit is broken on the white or the neutral line. The common or the neutral is where they break the circuit and change the circuit. This is not how we standardly wire today. We'll break the circuit on the hot and run out on the neutral. So let's say if these wires weren't here, what do? Well, you search the web, you look for an example of the switch that you have, the model that you have. There is some good information out there, but sometimes it's also a bit confusing because wires have been changed, switches have been changed. So let's look at the basic elements of what's going on here with the electrical system. You have, of course, a cord. That's where you start. You have the heating element. As you can see, this is a cap. There's 4 posts that you see in a long diamond pattern. You turn it over and look inside. You see that there's the small element is on the inner part here. This corresponds to these 2 posts here, the ones that are closest together. The higher wattage element is wrapped around the outside. It corresponds to these 2 posts here. So, without taking the machine apart, if you look at the pattern, you'll see this long diamond, the 2 that are close together, that's the low wattage element. The 2 that are farthest apart, that's the high wattage element. Now, there's various switches that are involved in this. This is from a professional model. This is the modern style Europiccola that uses a pressure stat. And as you see, 5 spades on the bottom, very confusing. Here we have, this is the modern style high-low switch, 1-2 switch. On-off is on the top, high-low is on the bottom. Once again, bit of confusion. But let's try to sort out any machine. Now, we start with a circuit. We have also a multi-tester here. The multi-tester is very handy. It doesn't have to be a fluke or anything fancy, but even the most inexpensive multi-tester, generally you'll be able to read ohms on. This is handiest in tracing circuits, checking components. For example, with this particular setup, we can go ahead and we can say, is this element good? Is it burned? The way we do this, this is the short one, this is the low wattage element. I have to get my machine up and running. This is the low wattage element. We go on here, we check and see we have resistance, 70 ohms on this one. Here's the bigger of the 2 elements. That good. This is good. You see, we can test a component to see if it's good, but this doesn't tell us how to rewire the machine. With that, we basically are going to use the more powerful instrument, which is paper and pencil. Now, let's take our element. As I said, 2 posts close together, 2 posts far apart. How do we make this work? Most simply, we'll bring in our black wire, which is going to be our hot wire. We bring our hot wire in, take our white wire out. In here, here's the element. Electricity flows, heats this element. Now, how do we do this big one? Well, if we want them both to work at the same time, we go into this wire and out this wire. Once again, white goes out, elements in between. Now both are working at the same time. So, excuse me, the way we control this system is we have our element. Once again, low wattage, high wattage. We have our element. We come in with our black wire. Okay? And we then go to a switch. Back to here. Now, white wire's going out here. White wire's going out here. Electricity passes through here. Electricity passes through here when you close the switch. This is the way you get the massimo or the high function on the heat. Once again, you have one simple switch. It's here, out the side. Now, so you simplify this circuit a little bit. This is the, many times you'll notice a small bar that is hooked across two of the posts. You'll see that that's hooked across the, here's the small, here's the large. So you hook together either this or this with a small bar, or a wire will work as well. The bar is used often when they put the safety thermal fuse under there against the bottom. This was one of their first safety innovations, and there's various different types of fuses. So let's look at this a little farther. How do you do this? Once again, you have your element. Here in comes your hot wire to this element. We are going off to a switch, back to this post, bridge these two together. Now this goes out to the white. Simple. Now you have your cord comes into play. Here is your black wire coming in, your white wire going out. And your current will flow here, your current will flow here on high. Now, the catch is with this single switch, when you turn the machine on, this minimo, the small element, is always activated. So you put in another loop. Instead of wiring directly to here, we do a different system. We have our 4 posts. Instead of wiring directly to this post, we wire into a second switch. All right. So now we have 2 switches over here on the side. This would be represented by 2 switches, 2 toggle switches. These are single pole, single throw, which means they are simply on and off. This is a switch, on and off. So we wire in our electricity like this. Our black wire comes to the switch. That's the hot side. And now to the pole. Okay? Our white wire, since we now have a bridge, our white wire goes out. This is white. This is the neutral circuit. And we will wire from here, supplying current to the second circuit. It goes here. So, when you'll see when this switch is closed, you only have the low watt element energized on the load. When you close both switches, you have the low is on, but this completes the entire, and both elements are running at the same time. we'll take this up in a next short video to show some of the more practical applications.